Okay, last category and sixth category is community sharing. I love this one. Just ideas, suggestions. I've talked to a few about it. So, example, one called you look at the page here, a seed startup kit. So, example, the city provides startup kits for like seeds you want to grow vegetables or flowers or whatever, and the city provides it, but also for soil sample tests, make sure you have proper soil for growing these things. So, like, I was living in Montreal. I used to go shopping and take my brown bag, or they supply no plastic bags, brown, and I used to go pick vegetables. Some people selling stuff from the gardens in the front of their houses, and you just low cost. It's all natural, no chemicals, nothing. And you buy your vegetables for the week, and also they set up down there as well, like do here with the local restaurants. So like, say set up a website, say local restaurants put up they need cucumbers or whatever, or squash. So communities like neighborhoods, they can set up their own system on the web, register, and say we'll supply this for this time frame or this week, or whatever. And also just community sharing. And also like you can buy merchandise, people sell crafts in the neighborhoods. I had a great time when I was living in Montreal about that. I used to like a routine go and look at the website and see, okay, so and so street selling this week, or one or many streets actually. They expanded it, and you go and shopping, and you can and it felt great. You had no worries about reaction to allergies or with chemicals and stuff, especially like MSGs and all that stuff. And I go buy my vegetables and go to the community kitchen, especially, and anything you have left over from community gardens, they can also register. They can sell it to, they can give it to food banks, schools, shelters, kitchens, all natural, all fresh, and chemical free, right? So that's another. That just so it's I call it more community gardens. Plant equals growth equals selling, making money for people. They make money for themselves, put it back in the community, or they can redistribute and just take it from there. Also, what else are there? Let's see. Oh, Toronto International Food Festival. Years ago, we had this thing called Caravan. A whole age of myself here, and it was like you used to go on a caravan, and they have different countries, and you could tables of food. It was great. Like, had a little passport to go around. This is done back in the '70s, whatever. So I have something like that. We have so many cultures in Toronto. I mean, where else can you go and find eat internationally in 3 times in one day in one area? So do that. For all wards covered, that's another thing. Everything we're talking about, every ward should be covered and utilized, not just everything downtown all the time, right? So have like an international food festival and expand on that. So we can have a website set up so people come visit. When they come visit, if they come for a food festival, they can go to a certain area like Greektown or Danforth or Portuguese area, the Bathurst, and try their own authentic homemade traditional foods, and expand on that. Just an example. Repair overcrowded schools and reduce size. That's a big thing, especially with the COVID, with the kids in the mask and all. I'd love to see free 24-hour daycare supplied by the government. They've done a few things right now. I'd like to see more about that. Also, more facilities, sports, rec centers, more art structures. Art structure, I'm going to talk about that a little different subject. I like to see an old abandoned building down the road here. It's been sitting there for years, and turn it into an art emporium, like an art place. Like a lot of artists promote the arts, like say musicians, artists. They can go rent a space, run by the government, cheap, and they go rent a space. They can store stuff there. They can have seclusion to practice their music or their art or whatever. And they can also have like set up for like displays. We can also for things for kids to come down there, and they can do programs. They can do art kits, whatever art stuff. So we got to promote the arts, and I've talked to a few artists, and the thing is, they also got to travel great distances just to practice their music or their to set up their art. And unfortunately, it's always temporary. When they go and set up, they got to take it down and ship it all back to where they came from, right? So we can just set that just like a storage locker for art. Promote the arts, promote welfare, and you promote education, and also the culture and history. We got so many cultures here. I'd also like to see, I think I put it on there, culture center, like a museum. So, like for example, Gay Pride. Every year people come here, and I always get asked, how did it start in Toronto? What reacted, and what's the process of the acceptance now with same-sex benefits and how they came about and marriage and all that. But we don't have a place to actually have a history. You can go to the archives, but unfortunately it's not available sometimes. You can go to the websites. But that's history culture. We have so many cultures. Like people want to know like how the Italian community got set up in Toronto. All these mom and pop stores that are now shut down, they're kind of left forgotten. And people that know about it were around, but now they're gone. But these like established communities, especially like Portuguese area, the Danforth. One shop established that area, and that community grew. That's what we call little pockets of nationalities around. So have like a museum. I like to do the Queens Park one there, the building there, turn into a museum. So people come, they come say visit and say, oh, okay, they came from another country. So this is the Portuguese area, started in this area. Look at the history. Let's expand on that. So that can be done, and also especially for indigenous education, because I always get a lot of questions like how many nations are there and what were the rights and residential schools, and we need to redo the books for history so our kids can know and learn how their people were treated back then, because of prejudices, and it's part of history. We can't avoid it. It is part of our history, but we can't forget it. And let our kids, like my grandkids or great grandkids, they'll say, they go to this museum and say, this is how it was back then, the 1300s, 14, how we grew, how a gradual change of acceptance and equality for everybody. It's still going on, right? Fighting for rights, and that's the thing. So that's just to expand. So I think you can put it there. Anyways, I think that's about it I think I got it. Okay, yeah, everything's pretty straightforward. Just read the visual platform. I had fun doing it, making all visual for people, and it's a little cartoon style. I'm gonna do another one on the art importance I talked about earlier, and one on community building, the whole crime. People think wasting $43 million last year in crime units. Every time there's some sort of emergency trial, they always respond like increase police budget, crime units, like the thing with the TTC. See, the problem is not the crime. The problem is how it got to be like that. How did it get to be so reaction of desperation, retaliation, frustration, budgets, social programs being cut. If you're going to cut programs, don't cut social programs. Cut the structure. Not cutting the police budget, but take a lot of administration. A lot of money is wasted in administration for not just TTC, but also police as well and other organizations. But never cut services to social programs, especially libraries, because that's the hub and that's the the clencher for each community. We rely on that. Libraries increase, and I don't know if you realize it, but like our library is known around the world. Our system is actually revered, as high quality. People actually come. I talk to librarians. People come from different countries, like politicians and library advocates, and they want to learn how our system is so successful. I always thought New York was the biggest thing, but it's not. The Toronto Public Library is well known around the world, believe it or not, and highly respected, and the most efficient library system we have in the world. That's something to be proud of. So anyway, I think that's it for now. And if you have any questions, just email me, give me a call, be nice. And if you have any suggestions you want to add, and you have an idea, like I always say, if elected, I was telling you last year in a video, if you get an idea, I don't care how old you're young, youth, whatever, senior, you got an idea. Nothing is wasted. There's no such thing as a dumb idea. There's no such thing as a wasted idea. If you don't put it forth, you'll be eating it inside and say, hey, I could have done something to help the city. That's what it's about, helping the city and helping each other out.